Hello to all of you. We're so glad you came our way. We hope our time with you will be a blessing and increase your understanding of the Bible. If you would like to donate and help grow this ministry, please check the options below. And folks, we will send you a free copy of our booklet, Training Your Children in the Way They Should Go. Thank you so much. And now let's enjoy some questions and answers from the Bible. Hello, folks. Yes, we're back. Nancy's ready. I'm ready. I've got some questions. Are you ready? Did you read ahead? These are interesting chapters, let me tell you. I still think I'd rather be living now than back then. Anyway, we're going to take chapter 25, see what questions we can ask, and see if you can answer them before Nancy answers them. Anyway, here we go. Are you ready? Number 1, did Abraham ever marry a second time?
Yes, he did.
Very simple, yes. I don't know about all the complications, but yeah. What was the name of his second wife?
Keturah.
Keturah. I'm glad they enjoyed their names. I like Dick, Nancy, John, whatever, plain. But maybe ours would have been difficult for them too, I don't know. Anyway, how much is said that Abraham gave to Isaac?
Well, he gave all he had to Isaac.
Yes, and we'll learn as we go along here that he kept it for Isaac because Isaac was that special son. Next question, what did Abraham give to the sons of his concubines?
Well, just gifts.
Just gifts. Whatever that amounted to, or was. But Isaac was still special. Next, what did Abraham do to these sons of the concubines?
He sent them away from Isaac.
Yeah, of course, we didn't experience these things with Abraham and God, so we can't feel exactly as he did. But he knew that Isaac was going to be special, so he sent these others away. There's a lot of land to handle all that. But anyway, where did Abraham send these sons?
Well, he sent them east.
Eastward.
Yeah, some east country.
I suppose that would be towards the country that maybe he came from, but we can only speculate. How old was Abraham when he died?
Well, he was pretty old, according to us, 175.
175. Pretty young compared to Methuselah, though. But 175. I've got the 75 taken care of. I'll let you work on the 100. Anyway, what were the names of the sons who buried Abraham?
Isaac and Ishmael.
Those two first boys. Quite a relationship. And we all know that it's something to bury your daddy. Okay, next. Where was Abraham buried?
Well, I think it was the same cave. I think they call it Machpelah.
Yes. Buried with Sarah. There was a respect back then, and I think a needed respect today. Cave of Machpelah. What did God do to Isaac after the death of his father?
he blessed him.
Blessed him in a mighty way. Of course, we know that the plan was to flow through Isaac, so this is the way it was going to be. Where did Isaac dwell after his father's death?
Well, it begins with a L. I think they call it Lahairoi.
Lahairoi is what
Okay.
I've always called it, but whatever. Of course, water was spatial then. How many princes are recorded in chapter 25 that were the offspring or generations of Ishmael?
Quite a few. I think there were somewhere around 12.
12. How long did Ishmael live?
137 years.
137. Now that's getting a little lesser. I don't know if that's from design, but 137 years still a long time to live. I don't think my body could handle it that long. Ishmael died in the presence of whom?
Ishmael died among his own brethren.
His own people. And that's good. You know how there was such a turmoil there. How old was Isaac when he married Rebekah?
40? Was it 40?
40 years. Old enough to know better? Oh my goodness. Well, maybe that was an easier age back then. Maybe that would be like our 25 today. But anyway, that's the way it was. For what purpose did Isaac entreat the Lord very special?
Well, she couldn't have children, and having children was very special back then, and he asked the Lord if he surely couldn't have some children.
Well, yes, I find this interesting, though I think I realize that God tries our patience and wants to teach us to wait on Him. Wait on the Lord. Isn't that difficult? We all have to learn to do it some way or other. And even though this was at the center of what was going to happen, their seed would be like stars of the heaven, their offspring. Still, God made it come slow. That's interesting. But don't we have to know that God is working on all of us, trying our patience, helping us to grow and to be the kind of people that He really would like us to be. Next, did God bless Isaac's entreaty or prayer?
Yeah, he sure did.
Yes, He did. Maybe He should have prayed harder sooner, I don't know. What is said to have happened in Rebekah after she had conceived?
Well, she felt a lot of movement in there. She said the babies are struggling.
Yeah. So something different was happening. What was the reaction of Rebekah to this?
Well, she asked the Lord, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, I suppose first time you would wonder, and it was extra. So is that the only time we go to the Lord? Something to think about. Anyway, what was God's reply?
Well, He said there's 2 nations within you. That meant you're going to have twins. And 2 manners of people in your bowels. Those are kind of strange words.
Yes, in her bosom. Of course, even now when we have twins, they're different for the most part. Even identical twins are different. And haven't we all found that we're all different? I didn't realize that like I do now for a long time, but when we studied subject of the temperaments, which you can look up and read on a computer. We really found that helpful to where we could understand each other, our children, and other people, more than just living with each other. There were two different kinds of people in her, and here again, God is making it complicated. Of course, He has His own reasons. And things did get complicated because of this, right in their own family. Was one nation to be stronger than the other?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And it turned out that way. Was the elder or the younger to serve the other?
Well, usually it's older that serves, or that is the head man, but this time it was going to be the younger that was going to be the head man.
Just the opposite of what is very often and was meant to be in the Jewish way. So God has His reasons, so here we go. When Rebekah delivered, what was found to be true?
There were 2 babies.
Twins. Uh-oh. Okay. What was said of the firstborn?
Well, it's kind of funny. It said he was red and hairy.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of our own children have hair like everything and on their head, and some are just not that way. Anyway, there's a difference. All in God's plan for whatever His reason is. What was the name of the first son?
Esau.
Esau. Okay. When the second son was born, what did he do?
Well, he grabbed a hold of Esau's heel.
I want out of here too. Take me with you. Oh my goodness. What was the name of the second son?
Jacob.
Jacob. Well, that's the name. That is the name that we will follow after all this. So, I guess the next question is, how old was Isaac when the twins were born?
He was a 60-year-old dad.
60-year-old. I think I was around 26 plus. Well, by the time I was 60, we had our family all taken care of. But anyway, things were different then. And here again, he had to wait 20 years at God's command. God was trying, testing, making patience come out. What was the occupation of Esau?
He loved to hunt.
He was a hunter. What was the occupation of Jacob?
Just a plain man.
Yes.
Nothing special.
Just a, what, farmer man? Anyway, where did Jacob dwell?
Jacob lived in tents.
Yep, like his grandpa, I guess you could say. What son was favored by Isaac?
Esau.
Esau. I guess that was the natural, he was firstborn. But God had plans for Jacob that evidently Isaac hadn't clued in on yet. Why did Isaac like Esau better?
Well, because when he went hunting, he hunted deer meat, venison, and he cooked it, and Jacob loved it.
Well,
No, Isaac loved it.
yeah, Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah.
That's why.
Anyway, Isaac loved the man in the kitchen. Yeah, I like my wife's cooking too. Whatever. Get on with the next question. Who did Rebekah favor?
Jacob.
Jacob. So what a perfect setup for something to happen later on. Too bad, too. What was said of Esau one day as he came in from the field?
Well, it said that he felt faint. I would presume that he needed to eat something.
Yeah, he stayed out too long, I'd guess. Maybe he anticipated killing out there and eating out there or whatever. He made a misjudgment. He came back hungry. We've all been hungry. But I'm going to say this right off. I don't think I've ever been hungry enough to do what Esau did. But I wasn't there. When Esau saw Jacob and his pottage, his soup, what was his request?
Oh, he said, oh, hurry, give me some of your pottage.
Yeah, give me something to eat. The Subway would have tasted pretty good to him, wouldn't it? What name was given to Esau at this time?
Oh, I don't remember. I think it was, began with an E.
Edom?
Yeah, Edom.
Yeah, they had names back then and names meant something. Anyway, what terms did Jacob tell him in order to get the pottage?
Well, he said, okay. He said, Esau, he said, sell me your birthright and I'll give you some soup.
I wonder if Jacob hadn't been thinking about this and planning for a situation where he could make this happen. Jacob was a conniver. He was here. I don't know. But we could say a lot of things. God set up the situation. And you know, God can set up situations, and we have to handle those situations, which will teach us a lot of what we need to know in life. Did Esau sell his birthright?
Yeah.
Afraid so.
Sure did.
For what reason did Esau sell his birthright?
Well, because he was so hungry, he had to have it, or it wouldn't have been any, he would have died, he felt like.
Well, I wonder if he was using mature thinking here. We weren't there, but I tend to think, hey, I don't believe Jacob's going to let me starve to death right here. He'll give me something to eat, so why should I sell my birthright? But you see, people have priorities. We have priorities, and sometimes the things that should be top priority escape us. So how's your priorities? Top priorities: seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. How about that, Esau? You didn't hear that New Testament teaching yet, did you? Okay, did Esau receive the pottage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And I would guess that really tasted good, don't you imagine?
When
As hungry as he was.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close to the end of this chapter. It's been an interesting chapter. And the last question is this: thus Esau had done what concerning his birthright?
He had hated it.
Despised it. I don't know what all's involved in that, but it shows that here was a man that had developed a characteristic in his life, like we said, wrong priorities. And so often this can happen. And that's why we're going through this Bible. We're not teaching those doctrinal things. We're just revealing to you the Bible, the book of Genesis. And when you read Genesis and a lot of other of the Bible here, you learn a whole lot about God. And you learn a whole lot about people. And it helps us to understand our God. we do have a God in heaven who cares for us, who wants the best for us, even though it doesn't seem like it at times. But we have to learn not to sell out to the wrong things. And that's why we teach these kind of things, so that you can see right off that they have something good for us to learn about here in the New Testament. And so that's why Old Testament, we get mixed up, don't we? Anyway, both together, we learn a lot of things that keep us in life, keep us from making the mistakes that some of these people made. So that's why we are studying these verse by verse, question by question, so that we can learn the truth that will help us be free people the way it ought to be. And that's it.